The Sodor Suspension Bridge is an important landmark on the island of Sodor. Built with the opening of the Northwestern Railway, it links the main line between Knapford and Crosby. It crosses a wide gorge overlooking the cliffs by the sea, providing one of the most breathtaking views on the island. Recently, the bridge had been renovated amongst routine railway repairs. The strong cables holding the girders beneath the rails were tightened after years of wear and tear from crossing trains. During the renovations, all trains were to either cross the bridge slowly or use the loop line to reach the big station. But with the work finished, the engines were once again able to cross the bridge at full speed. Edward was used to crossing the bridge every day with his branch line services. But one morning as he was puffing across, he began to feel uneasy. His driver noticed this. "What's the matter, old boy?" he asked kindly. "Something feels different," murmured Edward. "That'll probably be the renovations," eased his driver. "About time they tended to this old thing." "But that's the thing," remarked Edward. "I never felt this way crossing the bridge before. It always felt firm and stable." "Are you implying that the bridge isn't stable?" "I'm not saying it isn't, but I wouldn't say that it is either." "Perhaps you've got a leak in your boiler. You are due for a visit to the works." Edward sighed and continued on his way. He felt deep within that something was wrong. At Wellsworth, Gordon had stopped with the express going the other way. "You'd best use the loop line going both ways," he advised. "Something's off with the suspension bridge."
"Oh, rubbish, they just renovated," puffed Gordon. "You're probably just going off in your old age."
"I mean it, Gordon," insisted Edward. "It's for the safety of the railway. Think of your passengers."
"The only thing they're thinking about is that I run to time. I cross that bridge so quickly that they won't even notice."
As Gordon departed, Edward started worrying even more. His feelings came from his deepest instinct, so he couldn't even fathom dismissing them. When he reached Brendam, he confided in Bill and Ben. "What would we know about safety on the main line?" sniffed Bill. "Our job is to shunt trucks in the yard or deliver clay to the harbor," said Ben. "Perhaps he's finally too old to know what's what anymore," smirked Bill. The twins giggled to themselves, but a stern look from Edward quickly made them stop. "Don't say I didn't warn you," he advised. Edward warned as many engines as he could about his suspicion. Though some were skeptical at first, their deep respect for his wisdom reminded them not to take it lightly. As a result, mainline trains going to and from the big station started taking the loop line instead. This unfortunately caused confusion and delay. Interfering with branch line traffic, signalers were swamped with unscheduled trains. It wasn't long before the fat controller had to get involved. "I appreciate your concerns," he told Edward, "but I cannot have you disrupting the timetables." "All due respect, sir, but I still don't think the suspension bridge is in any condition to be crossed," replied Edward. "The renovations are finished. The bridge has been inspected and they say it's perfectly safe. We simply cannot have any more delays." The fat controller walked sternly away. The other engines looked nervously to Edward. "Now what?" worried Emily. "I wouldn't exactly fancy an accident at that elevation," muttered James. "I'm afraid it's out of our hands," sighed Edward. "Just take great care when crossing." Services resumed across the suspension bridge, and nerves ran high among the trains crossing it. Gordon, however, couldn't be bothered. One day, Bill and Ben had to deliver clay trucks to the big station. As they approached the bridge, they saw Henry crossing slowly and cautiously. "What a big tease," murmured Ben. But as the twins crossed the bridge, a dreadful feeling came over them. The wind howled through their frames, the strain of creaking metal rang, and the rails almost seemed to sink below them. "Oh, you felt that too, right, Ben?" Bill winced. "This isn't right," worried Ben. "We have to say something." Bill and Ben hurried hastily to the end of the line. When they arrived, they found Gordon departing with the afternoon express. The bridge is unsafe! They whistled, but Gordon rolled his eyes.
As if I'd fall for another one of your tricks, he scoffed.
At Crosby, Edward was letting off passengers. Just then, Murdoch thundered through with a fast, heavy goods train. A horrifying realization caused Edward to go pale. "The express is due!" he exclaimed. "The bridge will never hold that much weight!" His crew thought fast. They immediately told the signalman to halt all traffic and phoned for Harold the helicopter. Edward left his train and ran furiously for the bridge. The bridge almost seemed to sway among the wind. The rails pounded from both directions as Murdoch and Gordon approached. As they passed each other, it happened. "Who help!" cried Gordon. "I can't!" wailed Murdoch. Murdoch had managed to make it to the other side of the bridge, but Gordon's coaches were stuck right in the middle with the rails suspended over the loose beams. The express passengers panicked inside the coaches. Then, as if on cue, buzzing filled the air and Harold swooped in. "Hang on!" he called. "Help is on the way!" Edward steamed bravely onto the perilous scene. He had never seen Gordon looking so scared. "I'm going to pull you to safety," said Edward.
"But what about my passengers?"
cried Gordon. "It's too dangerous to pull the coaches across," said Harold. "They'll need to be pulled back the other way." "Leave it to us." Bill and Ben steered firm and courageously from the other side. The guard wasted no time coupling them to the coaches. Edward and the twins prepared to carry out the rescue operation. "Are you ready?" called Harold. Edward whistled long and loud. He pulled Gordon forward while Bill and Ben pulled the coaches back. They were just in time. There was a shuddering crash as the bridge collapsed. Steel beams and derailed trucks plummeted into the gorge. There was a long silence. "Is everyone all right?" asked Harold. "We're fine," panted Edward as the passengers cheered for Bill and Ben. That evening, the Fat Controller met the engines at Wellsworth.
"It seems I owe you an apology. I should have known better than to dismiss the concerns of one of my most reliable engines. How did you know something was wrong?"
"I've crossed that bridge so many times that I could feel it in my frames," replied Edward.
"Some rotten steel, no doubt," sighed the Fat Controller. "We'll have to inspect the repairs even closer this time." "Thank you for saving me," said Gordon. "I'm sorry I didn't listen."
"Thank Bill and Ben for saving your passengers," chuckled Edward.
"Indeed," said the Fat Controller. "You've once again proven yourselves to be heroes."
"We've played plenty of tricks, but we'd never kid when passengers are involved," laughed Ben. "Count on Edward to set us straight," agreed Bill. "It was nothing," smiled Edward. "As long as you're all safe, I've done my job." "3 cheers for Edward!" whistled the twins. Gordon just smiled gratefully at his oldest friend.